It happens quietly, not with a bang, not with a grand moment of realization, just a subtle shift, a new tone in your voice, a different look in your eyes, the way you don't react like you used to. At first, she doesn't notice, or maybe she does, but brushes it off because she thinks it's temporary, a mood, a phase, something you'll snap out of. But you don't, because something in you changed, not overnight, but gradually, painfully, with every piece of disappointment you swallowed in silence. You got tired of trying to explain yourself, tired of proving your worth, tired of being seen but not understood. So instead of fighting, you started evolving. And now, without warning, she's realizing you're not the same man anymore. There's a calm in your voice now, where there used to be frustration. There's patience in your silence, where there used to be arguments. You've stopped needing to win every conversation. You've stopped chasing clarity from people who thrive on confusion. It's not that you care less, you just care differently. You used to reach out first, initiate, check in, carry the weight of the connection like it was your responsibility to keep it alive. But now, you've stopped setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. You've stopped forcing depth in places that only offered surface level interest. And the moment you did, everything shifted. She can feel the distance, not the kind that creates coldness, but the kind that makes her realize you've outgrown the space you once shared. The version of you that was always available, always forgiving, always accommodating, that man is gone. In his place stands someone quieter, sharper, more rooted. You've started choosing your peace over your pride, your purpose over the temporary, your self-worth over their approval. And that decision, though invisible at first, begins to echo in every interaction. She notices the pause before you speak, the confidence in your restraint, the way your presence doesn't seek attention, but commands it. And that's when it hits her. This isn't a phase. This isn't about being distant or playing hard to get. This is who you've become. A man no longer shaped by the need to be understood, but by the discipline of understanding himself. A man who no longer bends his identity to fit someone else's comfort zone. You've been through enough to know that people only value what they fear losing. And for the first time, she senses it. She might be losing you, not because someone else is taking her place, but because you're finally taking your place. That realization doesn't come with fireworks. It comes in the quiet moments, when you don't answer as quickly, when your replies are shorter but deeper, when your eyes look past her instead of into her. It's in those moments she understands. Your attention is no longer guaranteed, and your energy is no longer hers by default. And she starts to wonder when the shift began. Was it when she took your consistency for granted? When she mistook your softness for weakness? When she thought you'd always be there, waiting, no matter how absent she became? Because now, she's not sure anymore. You're harder to read, and even harder to reach. Not because you're hiding, but because you've grown into a man who doesn't hand out access to those who misused it. You're no longer trying to prove your worth. You've stopped asking to be chosen. You've stopped fighting to stay in someone's life who made you feel like a backup plan. Instead, you've turned inward. You've built yourself from the inside out, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You've taken every silent betrayal, every unspoken disappointment, every unanswered message and turned them into fuel. Now you move differently. Your silence has weight. Your words have purpose. You've grown into a man who doesn't chase affection. He attracts respect. Because you've realized something powerful. When a man evolves, truly evolves, he no longer seeks validation in relationships that drain him. He becomes the kind of man that peace seeks, a man that doesn't need to be seen to feel worthy. And that's what she's feeling now, the absence of the old you, the one who tried so hard, who tolerated so much, who compromised too often. He's not here anymore. What stands in his place is someone who values himself more than he values keeping others comfortable. That's not arrogance, that's evolution. It's the natural result of pain properly processed, of silence embraced instead of feared, of self-worth rediscovered in the ashes of what was once self-doubt. Now she watches you with a different gaze. It's no longer amusement or indifference. It's curiosity, because for the first time, she doesn't know who you are anymore, and that unfamiliarity unsettles her. She starts remembering the details she once overlooked, the way you used to listen without interrupting, the way you noticed her shifts in mood before she even spoke, the way your loyalty never wavered, even when hers did. And now, with every conversation, she notices how those things aren't there anymore. Not because you've become bitter, but because you've become selective. Selective with your time, your presence, your energy. You no longer give it away freely, especially not to someone who only valued it in your absence. It's not revenge. It's not a game. It's simply the natural law of self-respect. When a man truly learns to love himself, he loses tolerance for the inconsistent love of others. She tries to reconnect the way she used to. A message late at night, a subtle compliment, a joke she thinks will pull you back into the rhythm, but it doesn't land the same. You laugh maybe, respond politely, but there's a distance in your tone, a boundary she can feel but can't cross. And that's what stings the most. She didn't expect you to grow past her. She didn't think you'd outgrow the version of you that still longed for her approval. But you did, because the moment you stopped waiting for her to act right, you started acting right for yourself. You no longer interpret mixed signals as hope. You see them for what they are, confusion disguised as control, and you refuse to be pulled into it anymore. Now your peace is your priority. You've found purpose in your solitude. You've turned your focus toward goals that don't involve being chosen by anyone else. You've rebuilt your foundation with discipline, vision, and quiet strength. And the world feels that shift, including her. She thought you'd always be the same man, the one who forgave easily, who stayed accessible, who let his heart speak louder than his self-worth. But evolution doesn't announce itself, it just arrives. And when it does, it leaves no room for the past to reclaim you. You're no longer emotionally available to someone who disappeared when you needed them the most. And the irony is, now that you've finally detached, now that you've stopped trying, she's beginning to care. She's beginning to feel everything you once felt, in reverse. The uncertainty, the longing, the quiet ache of knowing someone is slipping away and there's nothing you can do to stop it. But here's the difference. You're not slipping away out of spite. You're not distancing yourself to teach a lesson or create regret. You're simply walking in the direction of your own growth. And growth, by its nature, leaves behind anything that no longer aligns. You're not trying to make her feel what you once felt. You're not hoping she misses you. You've just accepted the truth. Some people were never meant to go where you're going, and now that realization is hers to carry. She's realizing that you're not the same man anymore, and she doesn't know how to reach this new version of you, because he doesn't respond to the same things. He doesn't crave the same connection. He's not driven by the same fears. This version of you is measured, focused, rooted. You've stopped looking back at closed doors. You've stopped waiting for someone to realize your value, because you already have. You've built yourself from silence and scars, from nights when you had no one but yourself. And now that you've emerged, you no longer need anyone to complete you. You've become whole. There is peace in knowing you showed up fully, that you gave honestly, that you loved without manipulation. And when it stopped serving your soul, you let go, not out of anger, but out of alignment. That's real strength. That's stoic evolution. You're not colder, you're clearer, you're not harder. You're just finally done softening yourself to be understood by someone who refused to meet you where you were. She'll remember you.